Lonely Island Audio.
So y'all put together the Funcrusher. I don't know if you want to call it the EP, original LP. I'm
The
not
EP.
sure. EP.
It was
Okay.
the first. It started as an EP.
And earlier you were saying how like the idea of getting a deal was something mythical. How did you end up in the position to like get a deal for Funcrusher, get a deal for Company Flow when that seemed like such a faraway thing?
We did it. After that experience, what happened was I was in a really shitty. I didn't read the contract. I was under this group management contract, and it was one of those classic like Bible contracts, and I didn't even read that shit. I was just like, let's go, and as so many kids do. And then when it fell apart, and I got scared that I was going to be trapped in this thing because they really had me over. It was really classic fuck you in the ass contract shit, and not in the good way, not in the way that I had this book called This Business of Music, and it was written by this guy William Krasowski, who was like Springsteen's lawyer and Chuck Berry's lawyer and like Ahmad Jamal's lawyer, and like he was a famous industry guy who had written this book that was a tome. If you wanted to learn about the music business, which I did, that was the book. And I looked him up because I needed to figure out how to get out of the deal. So I went to his office and said, here's this deal that I'm in. I don't know what I got myself into. If you can help me get out of it, whatever you need, I just want to learn. I want to intern here. I want to understand. Because I don't know. I obviously don't fucking get it. I obviously don't know anything about how people operate. It was such a shock to me that anyone would even think to like lock a kid down in the contract. And I knew that I needed to do this for my life. And so he was like, all right, like, fuck it. You want to work for free for me for filing papers and shit? I'll take a look at your shit. And so that's what happened. I did. He did get me out of that thing because I had signed the contract when I was a minor. So he was just like, hey, don't even worry about it.
Right.
I was around him and I got to soak up a little bit of his perspective on this, and it resonated with me. And because of my experience in the business, I had a healthy disgust at a very young age for the way that artists were treated very early. And that translated into us making our own songs or whatever and doing our own thing. And then what we thought was, well, we'll just press these records. And still, we were still in the mindset of maybe then we'll get a deal.
Right.
But before we did it, we realized, why are we just doing this single? Like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that A and B side, 2 songs. And we were like, but we got 8 songs. And I think they might fit on this vinyl. You know what I mean? Like, and why are we not doing that? We had put together some money to press up a small run of these, of some records. We had contacted a little indie plant. We just ended up putting all the songs on there, and then we were like, we were going to send them all over the country using the Tower Records mail order. So we scammed Tower Records mail order. He was in the front with the computers, entering the numbers, and I was in the back, wrapping them up and shipping them out. So everybody across the country, every DJ that we could find, and bear in mind, we had a list of DJs because the previous people that we were working with, that's what they did. They sent records to DJs.
They sent faxes, they sent records to DJs.
So we had a Rolodex of fucking names. And we sent those records everywhere, next day delivery, all over the country, for free. We started to actually make some noise. I mean, obviously Stretch and Bob, first of all, Stretch and Bob were playing the demos that we were making that ended up on that EP.
Wow.
They were playing them off a cassette. So I would feed Bob songs as we made them, Peep Around Corners, Fire Which You Burn. These songs, I just fed him, and he would sit there and listen with a beer and see if they played them. And they started playing them. Our names started ringing out on the underground off of these demos. So when we finally put the records together, people unexpectedly to us were actually like looking for the shit already. And it started to take off, and people started ordering them for us. And we started actually pressing more. And by that point, we had started to get a taste of like, wait a second, this is cool. Like, we press this shit up, and then we sell it, and then I get the money, and I didn't have to deal.
You get 100% of the money. Like, you don't have to deal with no weird splits or recoups or none of that shit.
None of that shit. And it's like, bear in mind, at the same time, we're looking at the fucking mainstream music that's going on at that time and being like, that's not what we do.
Right.
You know what I mean? How could I possibly get into that realm? But no one told me that I could do this on my own and actually not have to deal with assholes.
Right.
You're telling me that we can just do this shit. No one tells us what to make. No one tells us what to do. And we do it on our own time, our own dime, and we get the money back. So that's why we didn't get a deal, because we started to get gassed on what was happening. We started to get excited about it. Like, up until that point, it was either you were not in business or you were on a major label, and everyone in between had to just be in it for the art and just hope that something magical happened.
Right.
We were like, wait, there can be something here that works for our life, that is exciting, that, you know, and we started to get into it. That's why the independent as fuck thing happened, because we were sitting at the fucking kitchen table, cutting out letters and with glue sticks and blah, 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 to like try and like make the labels that we were going to fucking Xerox and then make the 12-inch with. And I literally, this is a true story, I literally looked at Jeff and I looked at the pile of garbage on our table, and I looked at us just by ourselves, just trying to like make a record with our hands. Yeah. And I was like, yo, we're not just independent, man. We're independent as fuck. and we laughed. And
That's
we laughed.
hard.
And we were like, yeah, we are, aren't we? And I was like, yeah, we are, actually. And I'm putting that right here. And we're writing that on this shit. And that's what we did. And from that point on, we were like, yeah, fuck a deal.
Right.
Stony Island Audio.